Recent events. Late July 2026 sees the Sovereignty Alliance expanding and testing the limits of federal authority. The alliance now controls major resource hubs, and federal leadership is under pressure to respond without sparking nationwide violence. July 21st to 25th. Alliance expansion. New states join New York. Governor announces participation, citing economic autonomy and precedent-setting federal overreach. Wyoming and North Dakota. Energy-producing states join, leveraging oil, gas, and mineral exports as strategic leverage. Arizona joins over water rights concerns stemming from Colorado River reallocation.
Welcome back to the Sovereignty Alliance, and please join the Carters, Robert, Laura, and Emily for Episode 5, Escalation and Expansion. And please stay around to the end for Rust Revival's Vote for the Devil Blues.
Last week, we observed the first coordinated standoffs along the West Coast. Cities maintained control, coordinated volunteers, and monitored federal presence. This week, the map expands. More states join the Sovereignty Alliance, and standoffs multiply.
Expansion adds complexity. Coast-to-coast coordination requires legal oversight, logistical support, and careful attention to optics. The stakes are higher than ever. On the island, we are staring to feel the uncertainty. Everyone seems to be congregating in small groups, and the chatter isn't low anymore. Of course, even here we have citizens for and against both the federal involvement and those that feel it's a necessity.
New states bring unique resources and leverage. Coordination errors could escalate tension rapidly. Citizens remain alert, knowing each action matters. I'm down at Little Dock, and the weather is so peaceful and clear it's difficult to image the storm that's brewing on the mainland. DC hasn't ignored the fact that other states are joining the alliance. The threats are getting louder and more incoherent.
I flew into O'Hara International. A lot of flights are being canceled, and the travelers look a lot more like small families going on vacation than business travels. I spoke to a couple of families, and most of them said they were going to visit relatives in areas they felt were safe. From Texas to New York, I observe communities preparing quietly. Barricades, volunteers, and local authorities form a network designed to maintain control and prevent unnecessary escalation. It's feeling like we are an occupied country instead of the America I grew up in.
New York, Wyoming, North Dakota, and Arizona join the alliance. Each state brings economic, energy, or resource-based leverage. Coordination across time zones and political cultures is a logistical challenge. Governors are having to deal with the logistics they aren't prepared for. Arranging for state police to transition from traffic control to crowd control, as well as standing firm in front of an increasingly federal presence, is new territory for them. This will be good training for those that are planning on running for president.
New York focuses on financial oversight. Wyoming secures energy resources. North Dakota protects farmland and minerals. Arizona monitors water rights. Each brings strategic importance and unique responsibilities. State agencies are in constant contact with their neighbors, corresponding agencies. They realize their job isn't to fight, but to keep services controlled and functioning. They haven't forgotten that they may supply or receive water and power from their neighbors and must not let the federal government start issuing directives for their own benefit.
Alliance meetings move from virtual calls to live briefings. Legal teams anticipate federal actions. Communication and trust are essential to prevent missteps. State officials are facing threats from DC. We will fire all of you, and your loyalty is to the president. There are sympathizers in both camps, but so far they have ultimately continued displayed their loyalty to their state.
Officials update maps, assign volunteers, and verify site security. Citizens participate quietly, ensuring readiness at every location. In some of the states, there have been citizen groups that instead of holding protest, have asked to be deputized and used to back up local officials. Everyone seems to want to be a reserve sheriff. Of course, there are also militant groups that support DC, so at times standoffs appear a bit dicey, but so far no shots have been fired. DC has ordered the Guardsmen and ICE to take control of key state facilities. They met a strong and well-armed resistance. The Guardsmen are not full-time and well-trained soldiers. They are reservists, something our president seems unaware of. DC is trying to use weekend warriors to do a job they weren't trained for or desire to do. Remember, they are being held off by their friends and family. ICE has tried to flex their muscles, but they are facing armed state police, not scared immigrants. I am at one of the Texas state refineries. Barricades have been put in place. State police coordinate with engineers to control access. Federal marshals observe from a distance. Tension is visible in stance, in gestures, in every interaction.
Unlike previous standoffs, these are multi-state, multi-site operations. Logistics are complex, coordination is essential, every action is scrutinized. There have been a couple of engagements, but so far without gunfire. In each instance, the federal forces were forced back. They aren't used to being told no.
California dams remain under state control. Louisiana ports are secured. New York's financial oversight facilities restrict federal access. Each site is a controlled flashpoint. The national news outlets seem to be finally rising to the occasion. They are remembering that they are journalists, and maybe also that they will continue whether the president pulls their license or not. Maybe they are beginning to realize the power they once held. Fox News even seems to be reporting reality, not just the president's message.
Volunteers, contractors, and state employees converge. Cooperation and community involvement are key to maintaining authority and stability. The states are starting to receive offers of help from the non-alliance states. The handwriting on the wall is becoming to look more and more like it was written with a Sharpie instead of a pencil. The alliance changed from blue states fighting back to nonpartisan states standing together against what has become an authoritarian government that wants to dictate everything.
From Arizona to New York, I observe similar patterns: state coordination, volunteers supporting security, legal teams tracking federal movements. Citizens remain calm, yet alert. Preparedness is evident everywhere. It makes me remember grade school history and the Minutemen that stood up to Britain. It is hard to be dispassionate about the unfolding events, but seeing the citizen actually taking a stand makes me proud. Their resolve is being reflected in the faces of the federal agents trying to control events. It's becoming increasingly clear to them that they are not in control, and maybe DC bit off more than it can chew.
Visibility, coordination, and procedural compliance ensure power without conflict, but tension remains high. Any miscalculation could trigger escalation. Both sides are calm and determined. Fortunately as well is that neither side wants the blame for starting a real war, and it's becoming increasingly clear that would be the outcome.
Multiple states, multiple sites, one alliance. Each decision is a potential flashpoint. For now, control remains with the states, but pressure grows, and DC is becoming more irrational. When the president starts throwing tantrums and the people see it, what little respect that had survived is almost gone from even the most devoted followers. I have seen more red caps sitting in the trash cans as I drive through neighborhoods.
Expansion is underway. Coordination is tested. And as more sites join, the margin for error shrinks. In my opinion, we are at a threshold hold, and smart money isn't betting on either side. It's in the air tonight. Reflection is the order of the day.
Confidential. Internal distribution only. Summary. Late July 2026 sees the Sovereignty Alliance expanding and testing the limits of federal authority. The alliance now controls major resource hubs, and federal leadership is under pressure to respond without sparking nationwide violence. July 21st to 25th. Alliance expansion, new states. Join New York. Governor announces participation, citing economic autonomy and precedent-setting federal overreach. Wyoming and North Dakota, energy-producing states join, leveraging oil, gas, and mineral exports as strategic leverage. Arizona joins over water rights concerns stemming from Colorado River reallocation. Effect: the alliance now spans coast to coast, with key agricultural, energy, and water resources under coordinated state control. July 22nd, first physical confrontations. Texas refinery. Incident: federal agents attempt to enter a refinery under court injunction. Texas State Police and private security form human barricades. Scuffles occur. No fatalities reported. Media live streams amplify the confrontation, showing federal authority being physically challenged for the first time. California water diversions. Federal engineers dispatched to monitor dams are physically blocked by Alliance crews rerouting water. Engineers attempt to override state controls remotely. State IT specialists counteract within hours. Louisiana port blockade. Federal inspectors attempting to board ships are detained temporarily by state police, released after legal consultation. The incident prompts national debate about federal overreach versus state rights. Federal response: DOJ escalates criminal warnings. Some federal officers request clarity on engagement rules. White House debates limited National Guard deployment to enforce NRSA, balancing risk of political backlash. Emergency congressional session convened to discuss legal and economic implications. Alliance strategy, central coordination. Governors convene via secure video conference. Daily operational briefings begin. Alliance establishes resource prioritization protocols to ensure critical services continue while resisting federal orders. Public messaging: Alliance frames confrontations as defensive, emphasizing protection of local economies and citizens. Social media campaigns amplify state autonomy successes, portraying federal attempts as disruptive. Legal maneuvering: Supreme Court appeal is expedited. Temporary injunctions remain in place, but federal leadership pressures lower courts to lift them. Lawyers across Alliance states prepare contingency briefs for rapid response to any federal escalation. Analyst note: the Alliance has moved from symbolic defiance to tangible, high-risk standoffs, testing the limits of federal enforcement. Risks of miscalculation or accidental injury are rising sharply. The national spotlight intensifies. Every state action is now politically charged. Federal leadership must balance legal authority with potential backlash. The situation teeters on the edge of a true constitutional crisis. Potential risk level: critical. Next week likely determines whether de-escalation or full-scale crisis occurs.
I went down to the ballot, my heart heavy as lead. Promised me heaven, but all I got was dread. He smiled so sweet, shook my hand with a grin, but I found out later he'd been lying all along again. Oh, I voted for the devil, thought I'd get a friend. Now I'm sitting here wondering when the misery will end. Oh, I voted for the devil, can't even call it news. Every word he said just spread those blues. He talked about jobs, he talked about peace, but all I got was chaos that wouldn't cease. Folks I trusted, now they turn their backs, while he's laughing all the way down the tracks. Oh, I voted for the devil, thought I'd get a friend. doors are knocking, dressed so well. Now I'm learning lessons the hard way, my friend. Trust comes cheap when the lies never end. Oh, I voted for the devil. Thought I'd get a friend. Now I'm sitting here wondering when the misery will end. Yeah, I voted for the devil. Lord, don't refuse. Oh, the heartbreak and the pain of these devils.